So I just did a live, and of course, I friggin' open up my FTMO account, which had my username and password on it, so I didn't want to have that up. We got 5 minutes until the Jolts report, so we'll just hang out until then. I actually wanted to get off. I was on here at 9:30. Wanted to get off at 9:50 and then just see what price does and hop back on later. So what we're going to do a little quick overview of what we've seen so far today. The dollar has been bullish, right? We opened up, came up into a bearish order block, and we've seen a nice move lower. I've got an imbalance down here and an imbalance here. What I wanted to see before the numbers was price hit this, fall down, fill in here, and then when the numbers come out, look for it to go higher. I think with this rundown, people are seeing that as a long-term high, which it definitely could be, but I would want to see it come up, kind of wipe some people out. And here on the hourly, we pretty much open, shot up into a bearish order block, move lower, come back up into another order block, move lower, came up, filled in this imbalance, moved lower again. We didn't quite come up into this order block to move lower, but what we did do, and this is why I'm actually kind of bullish going into these numbers. We came in and filled in this gap here, very nice. And we haven't really had a strong move off of it. But I think with just how bearish this week's been so far, going into last week too, I should say, I think a lot of people are going to piggyback on this bearishness, and it would be really nice to see the numbers come out and the dollar to pop up. You don't got to, come up and take out this high, but even if the dollar comes up, maybe we fill this in, but at least come up and take out some of these highs, get some of these people who think the dollar is just crashing to get their stops out a little bit. The pound, we opened, we didn't come down into this bullish order block, which is nice as a bull. I wouldn't really want to see that because retail sees this as resistance, turn support to the moon. So since we left that gap in, I actually really liked that before the numbers came out, and I actually did buy today. I took two positions. On average, I took 24 pips at $40 a pip, so I made just under 1%. It was a pretty sloppy trade, so I don't really want to get into it and go over, and I'm not going to pull up my FTMO account live right now because I did that early in the stream, and you heard I left some information open, so I don't want to do that again. So the reason that I think that the dollar's going to go up, and part of that is pound opened, dropped lower, filled in this fair value gap, shot higher. We reached an old area of selling on the daily. We had a good reaction off that. And now we're kind of sitting at 50% of the range from here to there. Actually, exactly 50%. So in the scheme of how ICT trades, 50% of the range is not profitable. Now, if you want to sell up into optimal trade entry or buy, which up here would just be, somewhere down here, that's one thing. But when you're at 50%, it's not high probability. Scheme probably wasn't the right word, but on the euro, we are coming up on the daily into a fair value gap. We're actually about 50% of that gap. which is pretty nice to see. Now notice on the pound, there's no real fair value gap in here except for, let me just do this, except for maybe, I think here it's about 10 pips. Oh no, I'm sorry, right here, 10 pips. I don't see price wanting to come all the way up here just for 10 pips. That could stay open. Sorry, allergies. They're killing me here in Arizona. So I would really like to see right now price come up into this area and then sell off. We've been so bullish, and even if you are new to trading, you can see this as price is going up. So if we can have a nice reaction off this to move lower, that would be nice. The dollar again, you might want to fill in here and then move higher. It could just fall out of bed. I'm not going to hop into the trade live right now. It's not favorable conditions according to ICT, which that's my go-to guy. That's my mentor, so I'm going to trust his word on it. This old high, right? We took out these highs and then we moved lower, big lower. Okay, when it does that. Now, if we're looking at the OTE entry from this move to here, no respect on the 61.8%, no respect on the 70. We're up in the 79. It kind of makes me less favorable of it working. Usually, even when we see them work, each one of those levels will have some kind of reaction. Again, I just think with how bullish we've been, I would like to see it, kind of fall over here. But again, I'm not really, I don't really have high hopes for today. Just gonna kind of see what the market does. Oh, so the beast. So on the daily, I really want to see the beast reject here. Just with how we've had price moving down, took out this swing low, breaking market structure, we come back up, mitigation block. It would be really cool to see price respect this area and turn over. We do have a big fair value gap. We got some equal highs in here. It might not happen. All we got to do is just wait and see. Man, my nose is itchy. I'm sorry. I promise it's not the good stuff. Just dusty out here in Arizona. All it is a bunch of sand and dust and dirt and killing me. Also, maybe my cat. Maybe little Emma's making me have some more allergies. No, not that I care. But let's see what those numbers were. So job openings, we expected 11, just over 11 million, and it came in at 10 million. Now it's pretty funny, the number's red, as if that's a bad thing, but the Fed actually wanted job openings to go down, and they're going to continue to push job openings down. It's got to do with inflation, and they gotta knock job openings down to kind of get it underway. And that's actually, they said, their main priority, knock down job openings. So yeah, I mean, if you're buying today, price is this is nice price action. We've got the down close candles being respected, no major swing lows being broken, and we're just seeing highs get taken out. Now, let's say today wasn't job openings and I was, the same dollar going up, foreign currency going down. I wouldn't even sell in here. I would probably wait to see if we had a reaction here, take out this swing low, and then on a retracement up somewhere into these up candles, I would look for a sell. If you're aggressive, you could sell in here because it's a fair value gap. It would depend. If it was just a normal day and there was no news, maybe you can. But in the game of preserving equity and being profitable, it's riskier to just sell up in this area. Now you can obviously get a better fill, but the way this candle's going, this next candle could have the same, and if there's no justification, if there's no indication that this is going lower, you're putting more of your equity at risk. Yeah, this dollar is looking pretty bearish. Now we could be going for this area that I wanted to see before the job openings. Now watch, what'll end up happening is price is going to come down in here, and then you'll see a very fast reaction off of it. And it's like, oh, well, you were wrong, but you were kind of right. So you notice here how how pound, we're making a lower high compared to what we made earlier in the day today. And the euro, we've completely made new highs. And the dollar, same thing. We've made low lows on the day. That could be an S&T divergence, right? Lower high, higher high, lower low. So this lower low can be looked at as a turtle soup. This higher high can be looked at as a turtle soup. And then the pound is weaker, which then would make me incorrect in my beast assessment. This would then be going higher. Or it could just be totally wrong, which is definitely a possibility. I was peeping in on some of my fellow YouTube streamers, and man, I saw some trades today. Took a trade, 40 seconds into the trade, stops at break even. They're celebrating, yeah, because the trade went in their favor. And hey, good for them, If you can make money, by all means, make money. I just don't get how you can say our stop loss is going to be 30 pips, our take profit's going to be 70, and then once you're 10 pips in profit, you move your stop loss to break even. You close off 80% of the trade and you let the rest run. What happened to your 30 stop loss and your 70 take profit? Is that just out the window? Very interesting. So it's actually pretty nice. We saw right at the top of that fair value gap, price having some kind of a reaction. I always think that's cool to see. The dollar, we overshot it compared to the euro. The dollar came down about the mean threshold of this candle. I'm not a huge fan of leaving this. It's obviously not equal lows, but in my mind, I look at it the same as equal lows. Now, if these two candles looked like this, so if this candle was below this low, I would be much more inclined to believe that this would hold, because now there's not an obvious area of stops that are going to want to be taken. So that does also influence decisions on, put it like this. If it looked like this here and there wasn't news, I would be more inclined to be selling in this area, because I would be thinking that it's way less likely for price to come down and sweep here because there wouldn't be equal lows. And then this fair value gap would be more inclined to hold and for price to run up. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Let's come off that high 15 pips so far. Now what you got to watch for is, let's say I had to take a sell in here and I'm managing the trade. As price drops into this area, I don't want to see a reaction that comes back up into these wicks. What I'm looking to see is down candles fail when I'm selling. I don't want these to be acting as bullish order blocks. Right? When price came down into here, these bullish order blocks were respected and price ran up higher. So if you're selling up in here, you don't want down candles to work. You want them to fail. It's the same thing here. If you're selling, right? Like let's say you thought price was bearish and you were selling into this bearish order block. You don't want to see price break them, because if price is bearish, these are going to be respected. That's why all bearish order blocks aren't bearish order blocks and all bullish order blocks aren't bullish order blocks. I said that for a specific reason, because you can justify any up close candle or any down close candle as an order block, and they're not. Now when I'm bullish on euro, so let's say you were buying euro, what you actually want to see, and the best price action that you'll see, price won't even come down into a bullish order block. It'll do something like this, not give any kind of retail trader an opportunity to, ready, watch, resistance, turn support up. So at this point, once price moves higher, this is where the institutional order flow entry drills come in. So just below this low, you could be a buyer if you believe price is bullish. And what you want to do is you want to have your stop below the low of whatever order block it'd be. Because price could always come down into an order block and then be reclaimed. But if it is if it's bullish, if this is truly bullish, you don't want to see it come down in here, because retail is looking for that resistance turn support. Yeah, it just looks like the dollar is not really going to be respecting that fair value gap. At the moment, it doesn't look like it. Which I guess makes sense. It is bearish. The dollar's been on a sick bull run. The economy's all weird. The world's all weird. Fair value gap. We come into it. Reaction up. Gold's been pushing higher. Now this is interesting, huh? So far we've got a higher low on CAD, US CAD, but the dollar is just low, low, low. It shows me that this might be a short-lived up move. I want to see if price goes below these lows here. Yeah, I mean, look at these stops, 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 stops. Came up, took out these stops, but we made a lower high. Move lower. While you've seen the chart, I actually did not sleep much at all last night. I am super shot. I'm actually kind of sick. I jumped back on here and had to make this live because of my other video. So I'll come back here when I wake up, 3, 4, which would actually be about 5, 6 o'clock Eastern time. And we'll see what happens with price. Appreciate you.